Hello, and welcome once again to Meet Your SCPs. I'm your host, Dr. Mrs. Jellyfish, and it is my honor to fulfill a request for today's SCP. If you aren't familiar with the Black Death, then here's a quick overview. The scientific name for the bacteria is Yersinia pestis bacterium. It was once responsible for the death of half of Europe. It was carried by oriental rat fleas, though there has been some speculation that it came from Asia via gerbils rather than rats, though the black rat and its fleas certainly played a big role. The bacterium would grow and obstruct the flea's digestive system, which would cause starvation behavior, trying to bite and regurgitate into a host in order to get more blood. This was how the flea passed on the white pestis to the new, sometimes human host. Left untreated, bubonic plague has an 80% mortality rate. Pneumonic plague has a 90 to 95% mortality rate, and septicemic plague has a near 100% mortality rate. Bubonic plague is white pestis in the lymph nodes and can be passed person to person via bodily fluid. The mortality happens usually within 8 days if left untreated. Pneumonic plague is white pestis airborne, and the sputum is bright red with blood. Coughing aerosolizes the white pestis. Septicemic plague has all the symptoms of pneumonic plague, plus the body goes into sepsis. Pneumonic and septicemic plague progress too fast for the lymph nodes to swell to the buboes like in the bubonic plague. And finally, the children's song, Ring Around the Rosies, is about the Black Death in England. This is by no means a comprehensive look at the Black Death. It really is quite fascinating to read or watch videos about. That plague is one of the reasons the following SCP exists. Without further ado. Item number SCP-049. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-049 is to be contained in a secure holding cell in Research Sector Redacted. SCP-049 is not to be removed from its cell unless approved by a Level 2 or higher personnel, before which SCP-049 must be heavily sedated. Even so, at such times, SCP-049 is to be accompanied by 2 armed guards and guided by an iron collar secured to 2 iron poles, 2 meters in length, and held firmly by 2 Level 1 or higher personnel while in transit. Any experiments performed on SCP-049 are to be conducted inside of specifically prepared rooms. SCP-049's cell should be monitored at all times via a security camera, and should any abnormal behavior occur, Dr. Redacted is to be alerted at once. Description: SCP-049 is humanoid in appearance, standing at 1.9 meters tall and weighing 95.3 kilograms. However, the Foundation is currently incapable of studying its face and body more fully, as it is covered in what appears to be the garb of the traditional plague doctor from the 15th to 16th century Europe. This material is actually a part of SCP-049's body, as microscopic and genetic testing show it to be similar in structure to muscle, although it feels much like rough leather, and the mask much like ceramic. It was originally discovered in Redacted, England by local police. Mobile Task Force Redacted responded to a suspected outbreak of data expunged. All civilians within a half-kilometer radius were given Class A amnestics as part of the initial containment procedure. SCP-049 does not speak. See Addendum A1. Although it seems to understand English perfectly well and is completely docile until it tries to perform surgery. SCP-049's touch is invariably lethal to humans. After contact with SCP-049's hands, the victim, hereafter referred to as SCP-049-2, suffers data expunged and dies within moments. SCP-049 will then attempt to kill all humans it can see in a similar manner, supposedly to avoid interruption before returning to SCP-049-2. It produces a bag made of data expunged containing scalpels, needle, thread, and several vials of an as yet unidentified substance from somewhere within its body, and begins dissecting SCP-049-2 as well as inserting various chemicals into the body. Research has been unable to locate these tools when inside of SCP-049 through X-ray and similar techniques. After approximately 20 minutes, SCP-049-2 back up and become docile once more. After a period of a few minutes, SCP-049-2 will begin to resume vital signs and appear to reanimate. However, SCP-049-2 seems completely without higher brain functions and will wander aimlessly until it encounters another living human. At that point, SCP-049-2's adrenaline and endorphin levels increase to approximately 300% as it attempts to kill and redact any human beings it can find before returning to its mindless state and wandering until it comes across more humans. At this stage, termination with extreme prejudice is allowed. Failure to enforce this protocol outside of testing scenarios, see Addendum T 049-12, is punishable by termination. Detailed autopsies of SCP-049-2 have found several unusual substances, along with unusual substances in large amounts, within the bodies, including data expunged. However, several have yet to be identified. Researchers with Level 3 or higher authorization refer to Addendum C1. Addendum A1. SCP-049 spoke for the first time today. 12/6/2000 redacted. Addressing Dr. Redacted. A full account of the conversation is attached. Interviewed. SCP-049. Interviewer. Dr. Redacted. Forward. SCP-049 randomly began speaking with no obvious provocation en route to a testing facility. Dr. Redacted was recording notes at the time on a handheld microphone. Irrelevant data has been omitted. What is this place? Dr. Redacted. What? It's a lab or there's a loud crash here from Dr. Redacted, dropping the microphone and then picking it up. A laboratory? It is quite marvelous. I now find it no wonder I've seen so few victims of the disease in here. Yeah. You see, I thought you incapable of speech. I'm somewhat startled you, can. Oh, my, yes, good sir, I simply prefer not to. Most victims of the disease are quite melancholy and do not react at all well to conversation. I have seen you several times now and have not detected the disease in you. Therefore, I assume you are also a doctor? Yes, actually, call me Redacted. But what disease are you talking about? Why, good doctor, the Great Pestilence. What else? Great pestilence. Oh, the plague. Should have seen that coming. But no one here is infected. I can assure you of that. Oh, good doctor, I can assure you the pestilence is here, and I can sense it. It is my duty in life to rid the world of it. My cure is most effective. Your cure? Your cure has cost us hundreds of lives. Your cure is faulty. Good doctor, my cure is most effective. SCP-049 lapsed once again into silence, and no further attempts to make it speak were effective. Closing statement. We managed to get our tests done for that day, trying to figure out what causes it to perform surgery, or, more accurately, what it detects as the pestilence. So far, research has shown us no correlation between any of the D-class personnel it has performed surgery on. We're still working on it. Dr. Redacted. Addendum C1. Level 3 authorization is required. On 4/26/2000 redacted, SCP-049 managed to break containment. During the roughly 5-minute period in which it was unsupervised, it came into contact with SCP redacted. Upon being detained, SCP-049 was very calm and amiable. Since this time, however, SCP-049 has been shown to be much more talkative, leading up to and performing surgery. I don't know what 049 and that damned mask talked about, but he seemed much happier overall. He no longer seems to simply sit and mope around in his cell, and several staff have claimed to hear him humming old church hymns. In addition, in the moments leading up to performing surgery, he has started talking, apparently trying to comfort his victim, claiming that he is the cure, among other things. The focus of our research has been shifted towards finding out what the hell he and Redacted talked about during their little chat. Dr. Redacted. Now, the mask mentioned is likely SCP-035, but I don't actually have the clearance to find that out. Though, we'll talk about SCP-035 another time. Thank you for joining me for this edition of Meet Your SCPs. Remember to secure, contain, and protect. I am Dr. Mrs. Jellyfish, signing off.